Welcome to this video where we're going to discuss the how to use this web application to generate the landing page for your schools or university's bug bounty program. So as you can see here, it talks about and discusses the steps of how to do it here. So the first step would be to click this button here to take you to the form. Once you get there, you will then fill out the form, selecting the options you want and filling out the boxes for other information that it asks for on this page. I will walk through how to do this in this video, but before we do that, I'm going to finish walking through this page and what is all on this page. And then after that, you would click the button and then access the code for the page, which again I will show you once we get there. But as you scroll down here, you can see that it also provides other information. So the first one, there are some leaderboard options that we have found as part of this project, and you can see all the documentation by clicking this link here. It would take you to the documentation where it talks about the two options that were found as part of this project, as well as how to access them and any other information we know. Going back to the main page though, you can see the two options here, like the sample of what it would look like to the participants. So the first one here is the keep the score, which when you click on this button takes you to the sample there and what it looks like. As you can see, the points are there and the names and participants, as well as it does automatically rank them based on the scores. And the other one is here, which is just again another free one that can be used. The first one does have some limitations. If you go to the documentation, it does talk about here, there is right here that in order to have the more than six players, there is a one-time fee. Where this one, it's a free leaderboard, did not find any pricing. Through my search, whether there is or not, there would have to be some more searching done, but the first option definitely does have one-time payment for more than, or for 6 players or more, and only allows up to 500. So that's another limitation there. And then when you scroll down even more, that starts to get into the training videos for administrators, as well as the documentation. Each of these buttons do link to one of the documentation pages on the GitHub page for this project. So I'll just show you at least one of them. This one just talks about what's in the package and what's included. So I'll just show you another one here. It's like one for creating the forms and other information there. But then when you scroll down here is the spot for the web application video, and then also documentation for it. There will be a point in the video I will mention how to refer to the documentation on how to do this one step. So that will all be in this documentation right here towards the bottom, this area. So when you get to that part, that's where you can find that information, is on this documentation. So now going back up, I will now walk through how to generate the landing page. So again, first you will click on this button here, which takes you to the form, which is part of this web application. I will just fill in some sample data here. In this box, it would be the point of contact of who a participant would contact if they have questions about your university's or college's program. So you would fill in the information. Then once you do that, there's different checkboxes of the first set of checkboxes here are about participations, like whether students can participate, employees both benefit or not benefit, and then whether the public's allowed. Then these two right here are for employees, most likely, as the conflict of interest and outside working hours. So then finally, whether you require registration for someone to participate in the program. Then you get to the list here. There might be some more vulnerabilities that you can think of. So again, this can be fully customized once it generates it. You have the codes, then you can add other things as necessary. This is just, again, a baseline to get a jump start to the program, to the landing page. And so you can just select what you want. So you can see here the default is out of scope. When you're checking it, that makes it in scope. So just to make that clear, make that well established here. And then once you get down, you can again leave unchecked what you don't want to be in scope. Coming down to the last section here, you have the additional rules and info, which you can then select what you want from it. And then if you're curious what I'm checking here, I'm checking probably some of the more common rules and vulnerabilities that are common from other programs I've found. And so like a lot of these were out of scope for other current programs that were found at other colleges and universities. But some of them definitely does make sense, like denial of service. You don't want someone bringing down the whole system, making it unavailable. And then just as you get down, like physical exploits would deal with like actually physically plugging something in or something that is done physically on the campus to a system. But towards the bottom here, going back to here, like not disrupting services, not being able to use automated scanners, things like that are other common ones. Once you get down here though, the registration link, I'm just going to use Google as just, again, it's a sample one, so you would put in here the link to the registration page, as well as the link to where the participants would report the vulnerabilities that they find. And then the leaderboard link, so the one I'm going to use here is the leaderboard HQ one. So then the one that you don't do, you can just put NA. And then the one thing to know is whichever one you use, they'll provide you on there an embed code. What you need is only where it says source. So right here, the SRC, you only need that link there, as the rest of that code is already put into the website, so you would copy that. And then you would come over here and paste that link there, and then you would hit generate page. So with that generate page, as you can see, it automatically fills in the university's name there, as well as here. If your school does not have the apostrophe S, you can remove that. It's just programmed in automatically. And then when you scroll down, any of the ones that you checked, as you can see, will have this green check mark. Any of the ones you didn't will have the red X. So that shows what's in scope / out of scope. So scrolling through here, you can see everything that was selected. But then when you get down here to the bottom, you have the training video. So you have like a welcome video that explains the program or explains what a bug bounty program is, as well as some other common information. And then scrolling down, so like that's all these documentations here are discussed in this video here, so that's why it's all underneath the one video. And so coming here, it discusses what in scope and out scope means and things like that, and then registration information and all the other documentation discusses what it states here. So it's just showing you a few of the documentation so you know what it looks like. But then when you scroll down, the rules for participation. So if there's no button underneath, that means there isn't a specific documentation that is generated for this. More documentation will probably be generated as the project progresses, but as of right now, there is no documentation for that video or written documentation. And then types of attack, as well as the PII and PHI. So click on that, it discusses kind of what it means, what it includes, and any important information regarding that. But then once you can see here on the bottom, the point of contact of being John Doe, and it would put all that contact information here. And then the registration and report vulnerability links. So the links you put in the text boxes back on the form is what will be linked to here. So clicking on it, as you can see, it takes it to Google, as well as with the report vulnerability one. So the two links that you put in, it will automatically be put into there. So now, viewing the source code, again, this is going to be the portion where you have to refer to the documentation, possibly, as if you're on a Mac, there's might be an additional step that you have to take. But on the top, in Safari at least, you will want to look to see if you have the develop menu. If you do not, again, refer to the documentation. It will explain to you how to get that menu, but I will also show it here. But if you don't have it, you would click on the Safari one. You would go to Preferences, the Advanced, and then the Show Develop menu in Menu Bar. And I know when I was getting to this, you probably couldn't see some of the things I was selecting, so that's why I'm sitting and making sure you know what to click. And again, it is in the documentation. So once you have the Develop menu, you go and find the Develop, click the Develop, and look for where it says Show Page Source. Once you get there, as you can see, here is the code for the page, so you can just copy and paste it to wherever you're hosting. Hosting your site, and this is the code. If you like the styling that is there, or want our styling as baseline, you can look for this link statement right here where it has the style sheet / landing.css, and you can click that and it will provide you the CSS for the page. So that is how you access the page code. And we did it like this so you also get the visual of what our code looks like, as well as what our styling looks like. So that does conclude this video, and does conclude our demonstration of how to use this web application to generate the landing page.